Just one familiar ingredient. Orchids will sprout roots and grow thick stems quickly. Today, I'm sharing an incredibly simple yet effective natural fertilizer recipe that truly surprised me. With the right application, your orchids will develop strong roots, thick stems, and noticeably more abundant and beautiful blooms. Orchids in the garden, neglected for a long time, become covered in dust and dirt, mold starts to appear, the plants weaken, leaves dry and shrivel, and the risk of dying is inevitable. If you understand the plant and do it right, orchids can completely recover and even propagate from the same plant. I decisively remove leaves that are heavily infected with mold, curled up and no longer able to photosynthesize. Next, I proceed to prune the damaged roots. Keeping them would only cause the disease to spread faster. As you can see, the roots are eaten by fungus, turning black and mushy. These roots must be completely removed. Yellow leaves due to nutrient deficiency can be quickly restored with the following fertilizer. For withered flower stalks, carefully check to see if any flower buds remain so we can utilize them for propagation. And at this point, I carefully check the orchid stem. If there are still dormant buds, still points of life, then that's the chance for the plant to sprout new shoots. Before I start fertilizing my orchids, there's one essential step I always follow, and I strongly advise you not to skip it. The first step is to water the plant with clean, filtered water. I use filtered water, gently watering around the base of the plant so that the growing medium is evenly absorbed. The purpose isn't to fertilize immediately, but to awaken the roots and cells of the orchid. One more thing I want to emphasize: the water and growing medium must be clean. If the water is cloudy and the growing medium is dirty, the plant will have difficulty absorbing nutrients. I will soak the pot for 15 minutes to awaken the roots. Next, I prepared a clean container. The ingredient I used here is green tea, a very familiar but extremely valuable ingredient for orchids. Green tea is something I use a lot in the process of rescuing and restoring weak orchids. Green tea contains vitamin C and many natural nutrients, helping orchids resist fungus, stimulate root growth, and significantly support their recovery after a period of weakness. Next, I add 500 milliliters of boiling water to the prepared green tea. The boiling water helps to fully extract the nutrients from the tea. Then, I gently stir to dissolve the tea evenly in the water. After this step, I cover the container tightly and let it steep for about an hour. Next, I prepared another clean container. This time, the ingredient was rice, a very familiar but extremely beneficial plant for orchids. I took 3 tablespoons of rice. Rice contains vitamin B and many minerals, which stimulate root growth, nourish the stem, and help orchids recover faster. Then I poured in 500 milliliters of clean filtered water, about half a liter. I stirred well to dissolve the starch in the rice and mix it with the water. Once stirred, I covered the container and let it steep for about an hour. After an hour, you can see that my green tea extract is completely dissolved and the nutrients are evenly distributed. The next step I take is to filter out all the sediment. Filter out any sediment to prevent clogging of the roots during care. Only when the tea water is clean and free of sediment can it be safely and effectively used to care for orchids. Next, I've scooped out a cup of freshly filtered green tea. Then, I took a soft cotton cloth and soaked it thoroughly with the nutrient solution. I took the orchid out and began caring for each leaf. I gently wiped the top surface of the leaves to remove accumulated dust, then continued wiping the underside, where mold and bacteria always silently cling. I did it slowly, carefully wiping each edge of the leaf, as this is the dirtiest but often overlooked area. Green tea has natural antibacterial and antifungal properties, so wiping like this removes all the dust and mold. The stomata on the leaves also open, allowing the orchid to breathe better, resulting in cleaner, brighter, and noticeably healthier leaves. Just one simple step like that, but the effect on a weak orchid is very clear. Next, I took another clean cotton pad, lightly dampened it with nutrient solution, and wiped the entire stem of the orchid. I wiped very gently, cleaning each section, as this is where dust and fungi easily accumulate. Once clean, I gently peeled off the tip of the stem. You can see that a dormant bud of the orchid is now exposed. This is the active bud, a very precious point of survival for the plant. Then, I continued to gently wipe around this area to ensure it was clean and free of pathogens. By doing this correctly, the orchid bud will have the best conditions to sprout, and the plant will begin a new life cycle. In the next step, instead of wiping, I focused on moisturizing the dormant bud. Then, I gently wrapped this towel around the dormant bud, shaping it like a small funnel. The purpose is to maintain stable humidity, preventing the bud from drying out while still allowing it to breathe. Next, I used a butterfly clip to secure it. Doing so ensures consistent moisture, significantly increasing the chances of successful bud sprouting. Next, I began combining the two solutions. By this time, our rice water had also finished brewing, and the essence had permeated and dissolved into the water. I stirred gently to ensure the starches in the rice water dissolve evenly, transforming into a form easily absorbed by the orchid. After stirring, I filtered out all the remaining sediment. Only the clear, clean, and nutrient-rich liquid remained. This is the natural, safe fertilizer solution that helps orchids absorb nutrients well, stimulates root growth, nourishes leaves, and supports the development of dormant buds. Next, I took out a clean spray bottle. Then, I scooped up the filtered green tea and rice water solution, which had now become a very safe liquid fertilizer for orchids. I poured this solution into the bottle and began spraying and gently watering each orchid in the garden. Next, I started watering and spraying the orchids in the garden. I sprayed evenly on the upper surface of the leaves to wash away dirt, making them cleaner and brighter. Then, I lightly sprayed the underside of the leaves, where mold usually accumulates most. When the leaves are cleaned, the stomata open, allowing the orchid to breathe better and absorb nutrients more effectively. I sprayed just enough to keep the plants moist, not soaking them. The nutrients remaining in the soft cotton and on the leaf surface will gradually be absorbed into the plant. After the care was complete, I moved the plants outside to the garden, placing them in a well-ventilated location with gentle diffused light. Next, I continued to water and fertilize the orchids in the garden. This is a very important maintenance step. With regular supplementation of this fertilizer solution, the orchids become noticeably healthier, producing more flowers that are plump, vibrant in color, and long. Each watering provides nutrients and washes away all the dust and dirt from the stems and leaves, keeping the plants clean and well-ventilated. As a result, the orchid leaves remain milky green, thick, and healthy, and the plants accumulate enough energy to bloom continuously. For the orchids in my garden, I care for them every 2 weeks using this same nutrient solution. Consistent and proper care ensures that the orchids not only look beautiful temporarily but also stay healthy for a long time, and the flowers are always ready to bloom. In the next step, I focus on fertilizing through the roots. After watering the plants thoroughly, I water directly at the base and root system of the orchid. This is the most effective absorption method, which I always prioritize. When nutrients pass through the roots, the orchid absorbs them from the base up the stem and leaves, nourishing the entire plant from within. As a result, the leaves photosynthesize more efficiently, and the plant accumulates enough energy to nourish flowers and develop steadily. After watering, I soak the pot for about 20 minutes. This time allows the roots to absorb enough necessary nutrients, ensuring neither deficiency nor excess. By doing this correctly, the orchid will grow healthily, develop evenly, and show a very clear response after each care. After 20 minutes, I took out a soft cotton towel and began gently wiping away any remaining water droplets on the orchid leaves, especially in the leaf axils and cones. Leaving excess water in these areas for too long can easily lead to mold growth, weakening the plant without you even realizing it. After wiping, the orchid leaves were dry, clean, and noticeably brighter. With clean leaves, the plant photosynthesizes better, leading to stronger growth and development. For my orchid garden, I maintain this nutrient solution treatment every 2 weeks to keep the plants healthy and stable. After treatment, I lift the orchid out, take it to the garden, and place it in a shady, well-ventilated spot with plenty of diffused light. I absolutely avoid direct sunlight, as the plant is currently absorbing nutrients and is very susceptible to sunshock. After 45 days of care, you can clearly see the change. My orchid has recovered and is growing extremely healthy. The leaves, which were previously weak and dull, are now green again, sturdy, thick, clearly wavy, and glossy. The new shoots continue to grow well, proving that the plant is truly revived. I checked the root system and was even more reassured. The roots are developing very strongly, covering the surface of the pot, branching extensively, with main and secondary roots constantly producing new ones. An orchid with such a root system is very healthy, strong enough to nourish flowers and grow for a long time. Once the plant is healthy, the results come naturally. the plant begins to sprout new flower stalks, and even more remarkably, a new plantlet has appeared on the old flower stalk. Thus, with just the right and consistent care, my orchid has both bloomed and successfully propagated. This is the greatest value of caring for orchids: patience, understanding the plant, and doing it the right way. Healthy plants will produce long-lasting flowers, long, clean roots, and lush green foliage that covers the garden. With continued enthusiastic and dedicated care, orchids will bloom year-round, grow steadily, and provide us with a beautiful, healthy, and vibrant orchid garden. I hope this video helps you better care for your orchids at home. If you find it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more simple and natural orchid care tips. In the next video, I'll reveal a new method to revive care for orchids, helping them sprout roots and bloom incredibly fast.